The MG Cyberster is billed as the world's first affordable EV roadster, and it's the most aspirational model this British-influenced Chinese marque has yet brought us. Still remember MG's glory days? Here they are, reinvented. You think of a roadster as being light and agile, but this one, unpromisingly, weighs up to 1,985 kilograms, which is almost the weight of an old MGB, heavier than the old MG TF. But then, to be fair, the Cyberster is a significantly larger car than the TF, 3 times more powerful and twice as quick off the mark, courtesy of its all-electric 77 kilowatt-hour drivetrain. Just how quick you'll go depends on your selection between the 2 variants on offer. Things kick off with a rear-driven trophy model that offers 340 PS with 475 Newton meters of torque, and if you engage launch control, makes 62 miles an hour in 5 seconds dead. The range is 316 miles. Ideally though, you'd stretch to the alternative top GT version that we're trying here. This adds 4-wheel drive and a further motor at the front, boosting power to 508 PS. But the real gain lies in the massive jump in pulling power to 725 Newton meters, reducing the 62 mile an hour sprint time to just 3.2 seconds. Range is 276 miles. So fast or frantically fast? Your choice. Top speed with both variants is 124 miles an hour, and you can retract the powered roof at up to 32 miles an hour. Now, with both variants, there are 4 driving modes: Comfort, Custom, Sport and Track. These tweak steering feel, throttle response, torque distribution between the front and rear axles, and even the climate system. For launch control-aided victory in every traffic light Grand Prix, there's a Super Sport setting too, activated by this big red button on the steering wheel. Plus, there's an adaptable 3-level brake regeneration system, badged like in an F1 car as a KERS setup, and incorporating a 1-pedal mode which allows the car to fiercely slow off throttle. We mentioned the prodigious curb weight. That was always going to mitigate against super sharp handling, so MG instead has concentrated on making the Cyberster the best GT it can be, rather than the best out-and-out chuckable roadster. For that, the brand turned to a team led by legendary F1 chassis tuning specialist Mario Fanello, who helped engineer Michael Schumacher's Ferrari-winning years. Considering what he had to work with, he's done a pretty good job. Now, of course, you can't throw this car into corners like you would be able to with a 718 Boxster or a Z4, but this MG doesn't feel anything like as heavy as it actually is. Yes, really bumpy, small, tight B roads can unsettle it a bit, but on more flowing, curvy routes, body control's excellent. The chassis doesn't noticeably flex over bumps, the brakes are sharp, the steering's quick and accurate, and the weight distribution is a perfect 50-50. A British design team led by stylist Carl Gotham created this Cyberster's eye-catching curvaceous exterior look with its powered scissor doors and unusual arrowhead taillights. There's over 4.5 meters of length, half a meter more than an MX-5. Up front, you'd never guess this car's provenance if it wasn't for the octagonal badge on a nose that could be from an Aston, an Alfa, a Lotus, maybe even a Corvette C8. Take your pick. The rear is striking too, with its short cam-style tail, which is there to improve the aerodynamics of the surprisingly long shape. Don't think Mazda MX-5, it's more like a 911. But will it be as avant-garde inside? You raise these electric scissor doors from the key fob, and they certainly make you feel like you're getting into a supercar, though they do open rather slowly. Now, unlike the exterior, this cabin was styled in Shanghai, which you might guess because there are more screens than in a Radio Shack shop window. A centre 10.25-inch display with speed, range and navigation, flanked on each side by a touch-sensitive 7-inch monitor. With your hands in a typical 10-to-2 position on the wheel, it's difficult to see the left-hand navigation and media screen. The right screen's a bit obscured too, but that's less of an issue because there isn't really much on that display. Stuff like weather forecasts, email access, an energy consumption pie chart and so on. None of that stuff's really necessary for the kind of driving focus the cockpit of a roadster should have. Peripherals like that really belong on a central infotainment monitor. There is one, this portrait format 7-inch screen next to the vertical gear selector. It's got pretty much everything you'd want. The generous exterior dimensions allow this cabin to feel wide and spacious. It certainly feels a generation on from a Z4 or a 718 Boxster, and the bucket seats are comfortable and supportive with full lumbar adjustment. One benefit of the high cabin seating position is that it makes it easier to get out, something older owners will appreciate. Now let's take a look at the roof mechanism before we finish with the cockpit. It's a powered canvas top that opens or closes in under 15 seconds and can operate separately from the doors, whether they're open or closed. Plus you can use it at speeds of up to 32 miles an hour. Out back, lifting the trunk lid reveals a 249-litre boot with shaping that the designers worked hard on, so a set of golf clubs could fit. SAIC is very proud of the technology behind the 77 kilowatt-hour battery in use here. It's ultra thin, 110 millimeters to be exact, less than the height of a drinks can, and can charge at speeds of up to 144 kilowatts, so topping up from 10 to 80% can be done in just 38 minutes. AC charging from home using a typical 7.4 kilowatt garage wall box will take 10 hours 30 minutes from 10 to 100%. If the battery is completely empty, you can extend that time to around 12 hours. You could reduce the full charging time to around 8 hours from a home wall box if you had access to 3-phase AC charging and could use an 11 kilowatt wall box. At the other extreme, if you're restricted to use of a 3-pin domestic plug, a full charge would need 31 hours 30 minutes. Can one car change the entire public perception of a brand? We think this one can. The Cyberster finally makes MG the kind of car maker so many hoped it would be when the Chinese bought it. This is a statement of intent about the company's future, and it's also even more of a British design than a Chinese one. Worth waiting for? In a word, yes. On this evidence, the classic sports car genre might have some life left in it after all.